Welcome to Creepy, the best horror storyteller on YouTube.
Part 1.
I always loved traveling and exploring new places. That's why I decided to take a road trip across the country with my best friend, Leo. We had been planning this for months, saving up money and making a list of all the places we wanted to see. We were both in our mid-20s, single, and ready for some adventure. We started our journey from New York, where we lived, and headed west. We wanted to see the Grand Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the Golden Gate Bridge, and everything in between. We didn't have a fixed itinerary, we just followed our instincts and our curiosity. We used Airbnb to find cheap and cozy places to stay along the way. We preferred staying in private homes rather than hotels, because we felt it gave us a more authentic and personal experience. We had stayed in some amazing places so far, meeting friendly and interesting hosts, and enjoying their hospitality. We had also stayed in some not-so-great places, but we didn't mind. We were having the time of our lives, and nothing could ruin it. Or so we thought. It was the 10th day of our trip, and we had just crossed the border from Utah to Nevada. We were driving through the desert, admiring the vast and barren landscape. We decided to spend the night in Las Vegas and have some fun in the city of sin. We checked the Airbnb app on our phones and looked for a place to stay. We wanted something close to the strip, but not too expensive. We found a listing that seemed perfect. It was a one-bedroom apartment in a high-rise building, with a balcony overlooking the city. The price was reasonable, and the reviews were positive. The host's name was Ryan, and he had a verified profile with a picture of him smiling. He had a 4.9-star rating, and over 100 reviews. He seemed like a trustworthy and reliable host. We booked the place and sent him a message, telling him our estimated time of arrival. He replied quickly, and gave us the address and the instructions to access the apartment. He said he wouldn't be there to greet us, but he would leave the key in a lockbox outside the door. He also said he would be available by phone if we needed anything. He sounded friendly and helpful. We drove to the address he gave us, and parked our car in the underground garage. We took the elevator to the 23rd floor, and found the apartment number. We entered the code he gave us, and opened the lockbox. Inside, there was a key and a note. The note read, "Welcome to my place. I hope you enjoy your stay. Feel free to use anything you need. There's some food and drinks in the fridge, and some toiletries in the bathroom. The Wi-Fi password is on the router. The TV has Netflix and Hulu. The balcony has a great view of the city. Please don't smoke inside, and keep the noise down after 10 p.m. If you have any questions or problems, just call me. Have fun in Vegas." We took the key and the note, and opened the door. The apartment was exactly as it looked in the pictures. It was spacious, modern, and clean. It had a living room with a sofa, a coffee table, and a flat-screen TV. It had a kitchen with a stove, a microwave, a fridge, and a dishwasher. It had a bedroom with a king-sized bed, a closet, and a dresser. It had a bathroom with a shower, a sink, and a toilet. And it had a balcony with a table, 2 chairs, and a stunning view of the city. We were impressed. This was one of the best places we had stayed in so far. We felt lucky to have found it. We thanked Ryan in a message, and told him how much we liked his place. He replied with a smiley face, and said he was glad we were happy. He also said he hoped we had a good time in Vegas, and gave us some tips on where to go and what to do. He seemed like a nice guy. We unpacked our bags, and settled in. We decided to take a shower, and freshen up. We had been driving for hours, and we felt dusty and sweaty. We took turns in the bathroom, and changed into clean clothes. We felt refreshed and energized. We were ready to hit the town and have some fun. We checked the time and saw that it was almost 8 p.m. We decided to go out for dinner and then check out some of the casinos and clubs. We grabbed our wallets, our phones, and our jackets and headed to the door. We locked the apartment and put the key back in the lockbox. We took the elevator to the ground floor and walked to the exit. We were about to step outside when we heard a voice behind us. "Hey, are you guys staying in Ryan's place?" We turned around and saw a man standing in the lobby. He was tall and muscular, with short brown hair and a stubble. He was wearing a black leather jacket, jeans, and boots. He had a piercing in his left eyebrow and a tattoo on his neck. He looked like a biker or a gangster. He didn't look friendly. We exchanged a glance and felt a surge of uneasiness. Who was this guy, and how did he know about Ryan's place? We didn't recognize him from the pictures or the reviews. We didn't like the way he was looking at us with a smirk on his face. We decided to play it cool and act casual. Yeah, we are. Why do you ask? Leo said. The man chuckled and took a step closer to us. Oh, nothing. I just wanted to say hi. I'm a friend of Ryan's. I've stayed in his place a few times. It's a nice place, isn't it? He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. His eyes were cold and dark. We nodded and tried to smile back. Yeah, it's a nice place. We like it a lot, I said. The man nodded and looked around. So, where are you guys from? What are you doing in Vegas? He asked. We felt a wave of suspicion. Why was he asking us these questions? What did he want from us? We didn't want to tell him anything about ourselves. We didn't want to talk to him at all. We wanted to get away from him as fast as possible. We're from New York. We're just here for the night. We're on a road trip across the country, Leo said in a vague and brief way. The man raised his eyebrows and smiled wider. Wow, that sounds awesome. A road trip across the country. You guys must have seen some amazing things. How long have you been on the road? We felt a pang of irritation. Why was he so interested in our trip? Why was he being so nosy? We didn't owe him any explanation. We didn't want to share any details with him. We wanted to end this conversation and leave. We've been on the road for 10 days. We're having a great time. But we're kind of in a hurry right now. We have to go. Nice meeting you, I said in a polite but firm way. I grabbed Leo's arm and pulled him towards the door. We hoped the man would get the hint and leave us alone. But he didn't. He followed us and blocked our way. Hey, wait a minute. Don't be so rude. I'm just trying to be friendly. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk to you. Maybe we can hang out. Maybe we can have some fun. What do you say? He winked at us and licked his lips. He looked at us with a predatory and lustful gaze. He made us feel sick and scared. We realized that this guy was not a friend of Ryan's. He was not a friendly and helpful host. He was a creep and a psycho. He had some sinister intentions towards us. He wanted to do something bad to us. He wanted to hurt us. We felt a surge of panic. We had to get out of there. We had to escape. We pushed him aside and ran to the door. We opened it and ran outside. We ran to our car and got in. We locked the doors and started the engine. We drove away as fast as we could. We looked in the rearview mirror and saw the man standing in the lobby. He was staring at us with a look of rage and hatred. He was holding a knife in his hand. He was waving it in the air and shouting something. We couldn't hear what he was saying, but we could guess. He was cursing us and threatening us. He was saying he would find us and kill us. We felt a shiver of terror. We had just escaped a nightmare. We had just dodged a bullet. We drove away from the building and never looked back. We didn't know who that man was or what he wanted from us. We didn't know how he knew about Ryan's place or how he got in. We didn't know if he was working alone or with someone else. We didn't know if he was still there or if he had left.
Part 2.
We drove away from the building and never looked back. We didn't know who that man was or what he wanted from us. We didn't know how he knew about Ryan's place or how he got in. We didn't know if he was working alone or with someone else. We didn't know if he was still there or if he had left. We only knew one thing: we had to get away from him. We had to get away from Vegas. We had to get away from Ryan's place. We decided to skip our plans for the night and leave the city as soon as possible. We didn't care about the money we had paid for the apartment or the fun we had missed. We only cared about our safety and our sanity. We drove to the nearest gas station and filled up our tank. We checked our phones and saw that we had no messages or calls from Ryan or the man. We wondered if they had tried to contact us or if they had given up on us. We hoped it was the latter. We checked the map and looked for the next destination. We decided to go to Los Angeles and stay there for a few days. We hoped that the change of scenery and the distance from Vegas would help us forget what had happened. We hoped that we would be safe there. We drove for hours through the night until we reached LA. We were exhausted and traumatized. We needed a place to rest and recover. We checked the Airbnb app again and looked for a place to stay. We were hesitant and paranoid. We didn't trust anyone or anything. We didn't want to repeat the same mistake. We decided to be more careful and selective. We looked for a place that had a lot of positive reviews and a verified host. We looked for a place that had a live-in host or a co-host. We looked for a place that had a security system or a camera. We looked for a place that had no signs of trouble or danger. We found a listing that seemed safe and reliable. It was a 2-bedroom house in a quiet neighborhood with a friendly and helpful host. The host's name was Lisa, and she had a verified profile with a picture of her smiling. She had a 5-star rating and over 200 reviews. She seemed like a trustworthy and reliable host. We booked the place and sent her a message telling her our estimated time of arrival. She replied quickly and gave us the address and the instructions to access the house. She said she would be there to greet us and show us around. She also said she would be available by phone if we needed anything. She sounded friendly and helpful. We drove to the address she gave us and parked our car in the driveway. We saw a sign that said "Welcome to Lisa's place." We felt a sense of relief and hope. We felt like we had found a safe haven. We got out of the car and walked to the door. We rang the bell and waited. We heard footsteps and the door opened. We saw a woman standing in the doorway. She was tall and slim, with long blonde hair and blue eyes. She was wearing a pink sweater, jeans, and sneakers. She had a smile on her face and a sparkle in her eyes. She looked like a model or a movie star. She looked like Lisa. She greeted us and invited us in. She introduced herself and shook our hands. She said she was happy to have us as her guests. She said she loved meeting new people and sharing her home with them. She said she had been hosting on Airbnb for over a year and had never had any problems. She said she had made a lot of friends and had a lot of fun. She said she hoped we would feel the same. She showed us around the house and gave us the keys. The house was exactly as it looked in the pictures. It was cozy, charming, and clean. It had a living room with a sofa, a fireplace, and a bookshelf. It had a kitchen with a fridge, a stove, a microwave, and a coffee maker. It had a bathroom with a tub, a sink, and a toilet. And it had 2 bedrooms with queen-size beds, closets, and dressers. She told us to make ourselves comfortable and use anything we needed. She said there was some food and drinks in the fridge and some toiletries in the bathroom. She said the Wi-Fi password was on the router. She said the TV had Netflix and Hulu. She said there was a security system and a camera for our safety. She said she would be staying in the other bedroom, but she would respect our privacy. She said she would be happy to chat with us or give us some tips on where to go and what to do. She said she was here to help us and make us happy. She sounded like the perfect host. She sounded like an angel. We thanked her and told her how much we appreciated her hospitality. We told her how much we liked her place. We told her how tired we were and how we needed some rest. We told her we would talk to her later and maybe hang out with her. We told her we were glad we had met her. She smiled and hugged us. She said she was glad we had met her too. She said she felt a connection with us. She said she felt like we were meant to be here. She said she felt like we were her friends. She let us go and wished us a good night. She said she would see us in the morning. She said she would make us breakfast. She said she would make us happy. She closed the door and left us alone. We looked at each other and felt a surge of relief. We had just met a wonderful person. We had just found a wonderful place. We had just escaped a nightmare. We had just found a dream. We unpacked our bags and settled in. We decided to take a shower and relax. We had been driving for hours, and we felt dirty and tense. We took turns in the bathroom and changed into clean clothes. We felt refreshed and calm. We were ready to sleep and forget. We checked the time and saw that it was almost midnight. We decided to go to bed and get some rest. We grabbed our phones and checked our messages. We saw that we had no messages or calls from Ryan or the man. We wondered if they had forgotten about us or if they had moved on to someone else. We hoped it was the latter. We turned off our phones and put them on the nightstand. We got into the bed and pulled the covers over us. We closed our eyes and tried to sleep. We fell asleep and dreamed. We dreamed of Lisa. We dreamed of her smile, her voice, her touch. We dreamed of her kindness, her generosity, her warmth. We dreamed of her friendship, her companionship, her love. We dreamed of her. We didn't know that she was watching us. We didn't know that she had a camera in the bedroom. We didn't know that she had a monitor in her bedroom. We didn't know that she had a knife in her hand. We didn't know that she had a plan for us. We didn't know that she had a secret. We didn't know that she was not Lisa. We didn't know that she was Ryan. We didn't know that she was the man. We didn't know that she was the nightmare. We didn't know that we were doomed. We didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't know.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar horror stories.